So France finishing second in the group after all, Mark. We know you've been absolutely fuming about the kits to that in that game. They've been confusing you. We'll get to that in a minute. But France second. Should they be getting criticism? It's something that Louise just mentioned in the first segment of the show. Should they be getting more criticism than they are right now?
Well, we can start now, can't we, by criticising them, because they've scored 2 goals in 4 games going into this, so prior to the tournament as well. They're just not looking like a unit. 1 goal was an own goal and 1 goal was a penalty. So the France team that we thought were going to blow teams away, they just haven't done it. So they look solid enough, but they're not very exciting to watch. They've squeezed through in second place, which means they're in a really tough half of the draw with Spain, with Germany, I think with Portugal as well. So, it's a bad night for the French, even though they've got through. So, yeah, I've not been impressed. I thought they were really disappointed today. Obviously, Deschamps left Griezmann out of the starting lineup, probably resting Griezmann. But there's something about France that doesn't really say they're going to win it. But then they're in the knockout stage now, and that's where France got the players to motor on, but wasn't impressed.
We did get to see Kylian Mbappe, though, Stevie, with his mask on. Deschamps foiled us all. It looked as though he might not play him from the start. Obviously, he scored the penalties. It's his first Euro goal. What have you made of France so far?
I think they've been typically France. You look at them and you look at the names on the sheet, and you think this team should be lights out, better than everybody else, but somehow they conspire not to be. But I don't think that's anything new with this team. And as bad as we think they were today, they should have won this game comfortably. Poland weren't in this game. Mbappe should have had a hat-trick. He had 2 one-on-ones in the first half with the goalie. Dembele had a one-on-one. And Mbappe had other shots as well. I mean, there's no question that Skorupski in goal for Poland is the man of the match. So, for me, it's about taking their opportunities. I guess the other elephant in the room is every single one of us has said the same thing about Upamecano. He's a mistake waiting to happen. He's had a horrible season with Bayern. And if Kanate or anybody else, any of the other 400 centre-backs that Deschamps could pick would have been better than Upamecano. And that's why they've lost the game. Yes, they didn't take the chances. But Upamecano doesn't make a stupid challenge in the penalty box that he's been doing all season, by the way, for Bayern. I mean, I'm sitting here watching it with Xhaka saying, this guy's the Harry Maguire for France. There's no way he should be playing. Now, fortunately, Southgate's not played Maguire, but Deschamps did, and he's paid the price. Otherwise, they topped the group, not being brilliant, as per usual, but they topped the group. So don't take your chances. Give a stupid goal away from a player who really shouldn't be playing, in all honesty. And you find yourself now in a real tough side of the group.
Go ahead, LME.
No, I mean, this is where we just can keep going. We can just keep growing this snowball and make it bigger. And I hope our friend Jules Laurence is listening. It's true. It's an own goal. And by the way, the other goal was a penalty. There's no denying how good they are. And yes, I think that there's something to be said when you're a previous World Cup champion, somebody that obviously has so much individual talent, has already shown it, that in the group stages, if you falter, if you hiccup, it's okay. Once you get into the knockout stages, you'll make it happen. But guess what? I still haven't seen something that's going to tell me, man, France, you're going to really light it up. And Stevie's point about Upamecano is also about what else Deschamps has on the bench. I mean, Coleman and Warren Zaire-Emery and other players that can maybe give you something. My issue with France has always been this. You are a tremendous squad. But sometimes I feel you rely so much on your individualistic talent as opposed to an identity and a system that you want to put forward. Now, yes, that may be harsh because obviously 2018 World Cup champions and everything they have done. But I think it stands to point when you're talking about these chances that Stevie was talking about, Kylian Mbappe not being able to finish. Obviously, tremendous player, tremendous creativity. Ousmane Dembélé as well. He is just this far off from being so good. But Deschamps sometimes, I feel, relies so much on his players as opposed to his players relying on what he can offer them. So I'm sure they'll get better. I'm sure they'll get stronger. And yes, it's not the same as England, but there are question marks over France of winning this. And I'll put my hand up because I had them as my favorites to win it. But right now, I'm nowhere near as confident as I was when I said that.
That's the interesting thing, isn't it, Mark? How you decide it when you say, okay, it's not the same as England, because you just look at what France have achieved in recent history, and obviously England have achieved nothing in recent history in terms of being able to talk about. But then on the other side of the coin, you could say, well, we should be expecting better from them, where we shouldn't be expecting so much from England because they don't really have that history.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I suppose on balance, you look at the two squads and you say that they've both got equally talented individuals. They've both got superstars, you know, Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane, Antoine Griezmann. You know, like for like, you could say that both squads have got similar levels of talent, but I think France have got more depth. And I think that, like Elami said, they've got the pedigree of going all the way and winning big trophies. So I suppose, yes, you can kind of criticise the French, but you can also say they do come good when it matters, and England can't say that. So I suppose France are ahead of the curve in that respect, that they have got that pedigree that you can rely upon. With England, you haven't. So I think France, yeah, they do deserve some criticism, but I haven't really seen a team this tournament, maybe apart from Spain, that you'd think, yeah, they can go all the way. But Spain, even then, you know, you wonder whether once they play a top level team like a Germany or Portugal, whether they will still be as good as they looked in the group stage. So it's there for the taking, this tournament, and maybe a France or a Germany or even an England can find some momentum in the knockout stages and then kick on, because it's wide open.
Have the other teams looked now then, Stevie, and gone, okay, maybe France aren't as scary as we thought?
No, not a chance. The other teams are going, oh, why did France not win the group? Now they're in our section. That's what they're still saying. Listen, and if they've watched the games, which they will be thinking similar things to what we are saying. You know, they haven't been great. They didn't do this. They haven't done this. They've dropped the ball with picking a Pumacano. But the bottom line is, all of those sides will be sitting in a hotel now going, I hope we don't get them. We don't want anything to do with France. So, yeah, they've not been great, but nobody wants anything to do with them still.
All right, seeing as though we have been talking about England, we're going to have to bring in Dallin Koff, because there's a lot to talk about when it does come to us. In fact, just before we do, he's getting ready to come in. Mark, you want to talk about the penalty? Which penalty?
The Lewandowski penalty. So it's just irked me a little bit, because obviously it was retaken. Obviously, Mannion was clearly off his line when he saved the first penalty, but Lewandowski took the second one. Now, in the rule, a penalty taker is not supposed to stop in the run-up. Now, I think that Lewandowski kind of stopped. So Mannion's being punished for coming off his line, but Lewandowski, and Stevie will know, Stevie played with John Aldridge at Liverpool way back when. The rule was changed because of Aldridge, because he used to stutter in his warm-up, his run-up, and then the keeper would dive, and then the penalty taker would take it. So you're not supposed to stutter and stop in your run-up. Lewandowski, I think, stopped. There's a difference between a stutter and a stop. He stopped and scored. So obviously it's irrelevant now because Poland are out, but I do think that penalty, this increasing tippy-tappy penalty where they slowly go to it and then stop, that'll be ruled out by UEFA and FIFA pretty soon.
Do you want a quick comment on that, Stevie?
Well, he's been doing it all. I remember sitting watching Barcelona this season, him taking penalties and thinking the same thing. I'm like, you're not allowed to. I'm thinking, have they changed the rule? You can't do that. And you can see when they're showing the replay of the goalie coming off the line, you can see him stuttering because Lewandowski's coming to a stop. That's why he steps off. So I'm with Augie, 100%. The reason that the goalkeeper was off his line was because of the manner in which Lewandowski was taking the penalty, which should be against the rules. I'm with Augie, 100%.